Alright, and welcome to Solving 3x3 Systems Level 4. And we're going to call this Level 4 Take 2 because this is my second time shooting this video. Alright, so in our very first example, this is going to be, and probably our last example, if I'm being honest, this is going to be very, very tricky initially. So let's go ahead and start with the easy things. No matter how difficult the system, we can always start by organizing. So row 1, row 2, and row 3. Now from here, let's go ahead and draw our T-chart. And remember, this T-chart is here to make your life nice and easy. Now, I noticed something right off the bat. There's no ones. Like as I look at my X's, there's no 1, there's no 1, there's no 1. As I look at my Y's, there's no 1, no 1, no 1. And as I look at my Z's, there's no 1, no 1, or no 1. So what we have to look for is either multiples, or we're going to use something a little bit difficult called double row manipulation or double row multiplication. So let's go ahead and find a multiples. What do I mean by that? Well, if I take 3 times 2 could get me to 6. So I know that 6 is a multiple of 3. This could be somewhat easy to work with. So let's go to something like something times row 1 plus row 3. Okay. And let me just go ahead and write these things out. So let's see here. For row 1, we have our 3x plus 5y minus 2z is equal to 32. 3, 5, negative 2, and 32. Cool. And we have our row 3, which is going to be 6x plus 4y plus 7z is equal to 7. Okay, and let's see here. What in the world am I going to multiply this by? Well, if I want to cancel my x's, the question I'm asking is what gets rid of a positive 6x? Well, the opposite of positive 6x is, of course, negative 6x. Okay, cool. So what number can I multiply 3 by? 3 times something gets me to negative 6. Well, that would be 3 times negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to multiply my whole row 1 by negative 2. Okay, so negative 2 times 3x is this negative 6x. Negative 2 times 5y is this negative 10y. Negative 2 times negative 2z is a positive 4z. And negative 2 times 32 is equal to negative 64. Now at this point, let's go ahead and combine our x's. And so we're going to combine these two rows. And 6x plus negative 6x is a 0 pair. Perfect. And we have 4y minus 10y, which is going to give us negative 6y. And here we have, let's see here, 7z plus 4z, which is going to be plus 11z. And we have 7 plus negative 64, which is going to equal negative 57. And at this point, we have a y and a z, so we kind of just have to stop. Okay, let's go ahead and move on over to our very next part of this. I said we're going to have to do something called double row manipulation. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let's switch back to yellow. And we're going to have to do something with something times row 1 plus something times row 2. We're actually going to have to multiply both of these. So I want you to really think about this. As I look at 3x and I look at negative 5x for row 1 and row 2, can I multiply 3 by any number to get to 5? No. Can I multiply 5 by any number to get to 3? No. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to multiply these by each other. So let me say this very, very carefully. As I look at row 1, I see a 3. And as I look at row 2, I see a negative 5. So I'm going to multiply row 1 by negative 5. So row 2 has this negative 5, so I'm going to multiply row 1 by negative 5. And then I'm going to go to row 2, and row 1 has a 3, so I'm going to multiply row 2 by 3. I'm multiplying them by each other. Now, we have a bit of a problem. I want y'all to think this through. Here we have 3, here we have negative 5. So if I do 3 times negative 5, that equals negative 15. And essentially here, I'll be flipping the order. I'll have negative 5 times 3, which is still negative 15. Does negative 15 cancel out negative 15? No. So in order to do this, I just take one of these, the -5 or the 3, and I just change the sign. Well, it's easier to go from a negative to a positive. So we're going to multiply row 1 by +5 instead. Okay, so what's this going to look like? Well, let's write out row 1. So we have 3x plus 5y minus 2z is equal to 32. And below it for row 2, we have -5x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to -11. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply them by these numbers we chose. So I'm going to multiply row 1 by 5 and multiply row 2 by 3. Okay, so let's do this. I see that I have 5 times 3x, which is 15x. I have 5 times 5y, 25y. I have 5 times -2, that's -10z. And I have 5 times 32, which is going to be 160. Okay, now let me use a different color so we can just really delineate these. Now I have 3 times -5x, that's -15x. And look, stop y'all. Will 15x and -15x cancel? Yes, that means we chose the right numbers. Okay, let's keep going. So now I have 3 times 2y, which would be positive 6y. And I have 3 times 3z, which will be positive 9z, equals, and I have 3 times -11, which is -33. At this point, I'm going to add everything straight down, and let's see what happens. My x's cancel. 25y plus 6y is 31y, and -10z plus 9z is -1z, and 160 minus 33, you can use a calculator, is 127. So at this point, what I have is I have two variable equations. I have essentially a 2 by 2 system. Kind of block it off here. And in the blue, right here, I have this -6y plus 11z is equal to -57. And then in this orange, I have this 2 variable equation, 31y minus z is equal to 127. Okay, pause the video, finish taking your notes. Let's continue on with this problem. Okay, so let's kind of sequester off our original problem. And let's say we have this 2 by 2 system over here, and the easiest thing that we could possibly cancel out is going to be this z, because I see a -1. That's kind of nice. So the question I want to ask you is this: what in the world gets rid of a positive 11z? And that answer is going to be a -11z. So the question becomes, -1 times what gets me to -11? Well, that's going to be -1 times positive 11. And let's go ahead and distribute this. 11 times 31, I want you to use your calculator. Okay, we'll do 11 times 31. That's going to be 341, 341y. I know that 11 times -1 is -11z. And here we have a big number. Use your calculator. 11 times 127 is going to be 1397. Okay, crazy numbers. Now, I did that so I could cancel out this positive 11 here from this very first equation. So let me bring that one down. Now I write that -6y plus 11z equals -57. And you're going to notice this. 341 minus 6 is 335y. My z's cancel. Okay? Wait a second. Do y'all see how I made that mistake there? Man, these problems can be brutal. Okay? 341 minus 6 is 335y. And 1397 minus 57 should be 1340. But let's just double check. 1397 minus 57. Yeah, that's going to be 1340. Okay? And to get the y by itself, I divide both sides by 335. Divide by 335. And I get this. Y equals 1340 divided by 335 is 4. We did a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we got it. And now that we have this one letter, the rest of this is so easy. So y'all, take a look at this. We come back up here to our 2x2 system, okay? And we want to plug in this single variable in for one of these. Now, here I see a -6 and a +11, and I think, man, this could not be an easier equation. So let's go ahead and we'll do this in the blue. I say, okay, I've got my -6y plus 11z is equal to -57, okay? We're using that 2x2 system. And then we're going to plug in our y value, so -6 times y plus 11z is equal to -57. And my y value, let's use a different color here, my y value is 4. So I plug in 4. And -6 times 4 is -24, okay? Plus 11z is equal to -57. And now we just solve for z. Let's do plus 24 plus 24. And I have 11z is equal to, I would encourage you, use your calculator, but this should be -33. And then I divide both sides by 11. And I get this. I get z is equal to -3. Okay, tight. So we now have two variables. We have our y, we have our z. We are almost there. Pause the video, finish taking your notes. Okay, and let's go ahead and tackle our 3-variable equation to solve for x. Okay, so I kind of erased that. I'm going to give myself this little space here. And it doesn't really matter which one you choose, but I noticed that row 3, everything is positive and we have small numbers. So let's use that. Say, okay, we got 6 and we don't know what x is, plus 4y plus 7z is equal to 7. Now let's plug in what we know. So let's go ahead and say, you know what? I know that my z value is -3. I know my y value is 4. Now let's work it down. So I have 6x. 4 times 4 is 16, and 7 times -3 is -21 is equal to 7. 16 minus 21, I now have 6x minus 5 is equal to 7. And y'all got this. To get rid of the -5, we add 5, and now we have 6x equals 7 plus 5 is 12. I divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals 2. And y'all, at this point, we can write our final solution. We're done, and let's go ahead and write that out. I'll just kind of make a little space there, and our final solution has to be x, which is 2, comma, y, which is 4, comma, and our z value is -3. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all in our next video series.